Okay, see if it's going to be on. Turn the volume down. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Adams Brothers Podcast. We're going to be streaming live here today on Facebook. Join us on Facebook Live. We're going to be joined this evening by the Director of Environmental Services, Miss Priscilla Cygielnik. I hope I said that right, Priscilla. Did I say it right? Cygielnik?
Cygielnik, yeah, thank you.
Cygielnik, I'm sorry. I just knew I wouldn't get that right. Cygielnik, Miss Priscilla Cygielnik. Once again, she's the Director of Environmental Services, and she is doing an outstanding job here with the city of Deerfield Beach.
Thank you.
And we're going to be asking her some questions here today. Let's see if I can pull the comments up. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got the comments up. So if anybody comes on and they want to ask a question, we'll be able to read them. So
great.
Go ahead and lower the intro music. So once again, we're here with Miss Priscilla Cygielnik, and she is the Director of Environmental Services. So Priscilla, welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you.
Right. There's a little delay. Okay. Now, and it's we're honored to have you too here. And there's a little bit of a delay on our end, so we'll try and give you a little time to answer questions. So if we try kind of talk over you a little bit, it's because there's a slight delay on Facebook here. Okay. So once again, we're back, and we're going to be asking Priscilla, turn the volume down on that song, please. Okay, we're going to be asking Priscilla some questions pertaining to some of the capital projects that's going on with the city of Deerfield Beach. There's some, if you've been through the city, you will know that there are a few projects going on here in the city of Deerfield Beach, and mainly one of them that's in District 2. Well, two of them that I know of, the Tigner Center and the Braithwaite Center for Active Aging, I believe it is.
Yes, sir. And that's an intergenerational campus. We also have a preschool on that campus that's under construction as well.
Right. Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Tigner Center, Braithwaite, and just give us some updates on what's going on with the capital projects.
Sure will. So the Braithwaite Center for Active Aging and it's the Bezos Academy, which is the child care center that's being built at this time. That's over a $13.5 million project. The status of the Center for Active Aging, the Braithwaite Center, is approximately 70% completion. So they're already starting to get the building closed in, to air condition the facilities, and they're going to start doing the finish work, all of the drywall and interior finishes on the senior center there very shortly. That building in itself is expected to be complete in mid-September. So we should be seeing that project completing for the Center for Active Aging in September. Now, the Child Care Center, also known as the Bezos Academy, that's a little further delayed as far as the construction, just due to the timing and the sequence of construction. And that one is anticipated to be complete in January of 24. So we expect that entire project to be complete in early 24. We will have use of the Center for Active Aging after it's complete in September. So we expect that we'll have programming starting up very shortly thereafter. I'll move on to the Tigner Center. So the Tigner Center, that is approximately $11.5 million. And that is a 22,000 square foot building that's going to involve programming for a lot of parks and recreation needs. So the after school care, They're going to have classes there as well. There's going to be a computer room so that folks can, do their, learn their computer skills. And that project is anticipated for completion in early spring of 24. Right now, you'll see that, there's nothing left of the old building that was demolished and all the utilities were capped. And what they're working on right now is bringing, the new service lines and new utilities to the future foundation for that slab of that building. So that's currently what's going on with the Tigner Center. We also have a number of other projects in District 2. The Pioneer Grove streetscape improvements. This is on 2nd Avenue. And this improvement is a total revamp of that roadway for multimodal traffic. So trying to address the needs of the pedestrians, the bicycles, as well as the vehicular needs on that roadway. And it's going to be a real aesthetic improvement with decorative features, nice landscaping. And that's anticipated to cost about $7 million when it's complete. The FAU Research Park Boulevard, also known as Southwest 11th Way, that's another major roadway infrastructure improvement, $11 million. And these projects, I should note, are partially funded through the Broward County Surtax. This is in 2018, the surtax that was approved by the voters to fund all of these transportation improvements countywide. Another project that we have going on in District 2 is our Safe Routes to School project. And this will construct sidewalks, missing sidewalks between MLK and Dixie Highway. The northern boundary limit is 4th Street and the southern boundary limit is 10th Street. So in that neighborhood, we're going to be finding areas of missing sidewalks and constructing those missing gaps. And that really will help the children walk to Deerfield Park Elementary. It should be a really good improvement for the neighborhood in that area. I think that's it for my District 2 projects at this time. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't believe you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, we hear echo. I don't know where it's coming from.
Hopefully it'll go away, but it's just coming from your end. Did you say something else?
Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo, but you're sounding very faint.
Okay, what about now?
Better, your voice is clear.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, well, we're getting a little echo, but we're gonna try and work our way through it. So if we're a little slow on this end, sometimes it could just be Facebook. Okay, so you gave us the update on the Tigner Center and the Brathwaite Center for Active Aging. And I know before we came on this evening, I mentioned to you about the street lights that are out on Dixie Highway. And could you give us a little update on the street lights that are out? I know a lot of people are concerned about it. So am I. And I know there's been some theft of the copper and everything. So could you give us a little update on the street lighting on Dixie Highway, please?
That's really been a struggle for us, actually, on all of our arterial roadways in the city. Actually, Power Line Road still has a number of outages at this time. Hillsborough Boulevard, Federal, Dixie, and 10th Street, we've had reported outages on many of those. And we've worked throughout the year on conduit conductor replacement. The wire itself has been replaced. We've had to be a little innovative on replacement, and rather than replace with copper, we've gone to aluminum to ensure that the theft doesn't continue. But they've largely we've addressed all of the outages throughout the city. There might be 1 or 2 fixtures that are out here and there, but they're going to be outliers, and those are pending fixture replacements. The the issues that we have with supply chain affect everybody, and delivery of light fixtures, parts, all of that has been slow in coming in, and we rely wholly on contractors to do this installation because we ourselves are not electrical contractors and don't have the equipment to do the replacements. We don't have the bucket trucks. We don't have, we don't have the licensed electricians on staff currently to do that kind of work. So we rely 100% on our contractors. We did mobilize 3 different contractors. We solicited for contracts about a year ago, and we got 3 different companies working with us. And we've been distributing the work and trying to keep up with it as it comes up. Now, something innovative that we're doing to try to address this in the future is we've been working with FP&L to do a conversion from city maintenance to full maintenance by FP&L. Now, that is a process. We have to do that by agreement with FDOT. So that means that FDOT has to review plans. They have to provide the permits. And then upon concurrence from FDOT, we're working with the Broward County Surtax because they have provided some funding to this end. And that'll help us with that conversion to that FP&L full maintenance program. So that's really our next strategy in trying to address this and kind of ensure that, these issues don't arise in the future. If we can give this over to somebody who keeps inventory in stock and has the staff, on hand to do the maintenance, we'll have a faster return of service for those light outages.
Okay. And is BSO, are they currently looking into the theft of the copper, or will they be watching out for, suspicious activity along Dixie Highway?
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting the perspective that they provide, because they indicate, a lot of times the folks who are stealing the copper look like legitimate contractors working by the side of the road. So what they've implemented is stopping and asking the contractors working in the city's rights of way to ensure that they have their permits in hand, to ensure that they're legitimate contractors working in our rights of way.
Okay, Wayne?
Yes, Priscilla, this is Wayne Adams. Are there any more plans for increases for water or sewer in the coming year?
Yes, sir. So the city commission has approved a 5-year funding strategy, and this is to fund our long-term goals for capitalizing our assets and ensuring that we're updating all of our underground infrastructure, as well as improving our water plant. You might have heard of some of these contaminants that are out there in the public water systems that the EPA is talking about regulating moving forward, and they're going to be extremely stringent measures to be able to control those forever chemicals, as they're called. They're PFAS, PFOS chemicals, so what the city's doing is we're looking ahead at what those future EPA regulations are going to be, and we're planning for that. And we're going to be go into obsolescence on our current filtration process of lime softening, and looking at a more modern technology like ion exchange to replace that filtration standard. And that will be improving the ultimate water quality, which is the end goal. But these are very costly improvements, and municipalities are challenged with financing all of these improvements. So unfortunately, it does roll downhill, and it ends up having to be funded by the consumer.
Okay. And also, as you were saying about new technology, I'm wondering about the smart meters. I know I first saw the smart meters, I believe, as part of the American Rescue Plan. I think I saw it. And
Yes,
then
sir.
I saw it, I believe, last year. They were talking about it. And if you can you tell us a little bit about the smart meters and how they operate?
Sure. Yes, so yes, that is a project that is funded through the American Rescue Plan for the city. It's called the Automatic Meter Infrastructure Project. And what we're going to be doing is replacing all of our mechanical meters citywide with these automatic meters. And what that enables us to do is you'll be able to go to a web page and be able to see in real time your meter usage, and you'll be able to see if you have a leak. You're not going to have to wait until your monthly bill to see what your water usage was for that month to see if you've had a leak. This provides real-time data for you so that you can get those alerts and know if there's something going on and you have a high usage. So it gives the consumer far more control, and it gives the city more accuracy in meter readings. Our infrastructure, as I indicated, is aging. Most of our mechanical meters are over 20 to 30 years old, so they've really exceeded their useful life. So now is really the perfect time for us to develop and adopt this new technology.
Yes, because I know that technology has been around a good while, and I know they were talking about the smart meters when we worked there, but I know they was back then they were talking in like maybe the $5 or $10 million range back in those days. So, I mean, I hopefully it's a good thing. I hear it is. I know a lot of people that have it and they don't. A few people told me they saw like little small increases, but it was all ironed out in the end. And that was when the meters were first installed. But from what I was told, everything was taken care of. And the people that I talked to are very satisfied with the smart meters. So I was definitely wondering about that.
Yeah. You're going to see that rolling out here in the spring, in the fall of this year. We already have a contract in place. Currently, we're procuring the material for the installations. And like I said, everything's a supply chain issue these days. So, we awarded the contract a few months back, and it's been, they've indicated, 36 weeks for delivery of the material. So right now we're estimating that the project's going to get started in September. And we're going to be rolling out a public outreach campaign with Rebecca's group, and just notifying folks, when they can expect us to be in their neighborhoods performing these change outs. It's going to be a little inconvenient for about an hour to 2 hours a day, where the water gets shut off and the new meters installed. But otherwise, hopefully it should be a fairly seamless transition from mechanical to automated meter.
Okay, and also I want to go now to the drainage because that has been especially, and I know we have drainage problems, Priscilla, throughout the city, but I know, from where I live at, that's kind of where I concentrate. And I know we had a drainage problems here. Like I said, I know we have them all throughout the city, but on Dr. King Boulevard on 3rd Avenue, that has been a persistent problem for over 35, 40 years now, at least 35 years now. And I know they had paved the road. I know a lot of times when they paved the road, before they paved the road, they would put drainage in. But I did ask questions, and I found out that they did not have the funding at the time to before they paved the road to put drainage in. But I just wanted to just ask the question of how is the location for drainage projects formalized, and do elected officials have a say so in where drainage will be installed?
So we actually completed a stormwater and flood resiliency master plan that was adopted by the City Commission in November of 21. So this plan kind of sets the stage for the communities with greatest needs and identifies, the dollars associated with those needs. And the goal of the Stormwater Master Plan was really to identify projects equitably in every district of the city. In addition to that, part of the Stormwater Master Plan was to do some preliminary 30% development of projects. We had what's called a FMA grant through FEMA that funded 30% conceptual drawings. And with that, in District 2, MLK Boulevard between 10th Street and Hillsborough, that was the area of focus for District 2, that one corridor that you mentioned. In addition to that, we had District 4 had West Deerfield, the Deer Run community that has repetitive flooding. And on the District 1 side, we had Southeast 8th Avenue, which has repetitive flooding. In District 3, we identified Crystal Lake. And so I'm happy to say that all of those projects are in some form of development. The MLK Boulevard just received a state appropriation for fiscal year 24 to do the design. So in fiscal year 24, we're going to start doing the design for that project. Typically, you estimate that design takes about 1 year between the production of the plans and the permitting and the bidding. And then we'll follow suit with that and fund the construction efforts for those in the following year. So likely in fiscal year 25, should the budget be adopted by the city commission, it would go to construction in that year. So the involvement of our city commission is in approval of these budgets. And yes, they have a significant say in what neighborhoods in their communities they want us specifically to look at and address. In District 2, the other area of large concern for flooding is College Park. And that's also in the fiscal year 24 plans for design of improvements to try to find funding for that construction.
Okay, yes, because I know, lately we had these storms here, especially like maybe a month ago, and all I heard on the news was everyone talking about a master plan, a 5-year plan. And I'm quite sure we have something here in Deerfield like that,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that master plan is available on our website. If you go to Environmental Services Department and hit on the stormwater link, you'll have a link directly to, it's over 1,000-page document of our stormwater plan, identifying all of our future capital projects. And it's a living document, so as studies are completed,
Okay.
it gets
Daryl,
updated.
do you have anything else?
I wanted to talk a little bit about, just a little bit, touch on sinkholes, because in my travels, I do run into some sinkholes, and from time to time I do call, send an email for them to have them repaired as when they could fit it into their schedule. And this two locations that sticks out in my head that's been going on for quite a while, and that is just up the street from where we live, on the corner of Southwest 4th Street and Southwest 5th Terrace.
Fifth Avenue.
No, 5th Terrace, right here.
Right.
We have
Fifth
two
Terrace
locations,
and-
5th Terrace
sorry, what
and
was
Southwest
the-
14th Street and Southwest 5th Avenue. Those are two sinkholes that's been ongoing for years. And I know that they had the TV trucks come out and they TV'd them, and they did some stuff when we were there. We were working there, but like maybe once a year, once every 2 years or so, it'll sink in again, and they come over. And I ran over it one year here about a year ago, and just a little concerned that maybe it'll open up and someone's vehicle may fall in there or whatever, and you don't want anyone to get hurt. But could you touch on a little bit about sinkholes?
Okay.
You have that in
if it's
plan
something
to-
that if it's something that you've come across, please send those to my attention, and we'll make sure we'll get those taken care of. This is the first I'm hearing about these, so we'll go out there and go and inspect and ensure that gets taken care of. Yeah, we typically try to address sinkholes on city jurisdictional roads within 24 hours. So typically those should be addressed fairly quickly. If there is an underlying condition, say there's a sewer lateral or something that is having issues, then typically we'll program that sewer lateral for lining. This might be one of those situations where a lateral is failing and we have to dig up the road and repair the lateral. But we'll go out there and inspect it and see what the underlying condition is and repair it. I can say that the city's pavement condition index is very good. Citywide, our pavement condition index is a 78. And that's really a fairly remarkable pavement condition index. So we do a very good job of maintaining our local streets. There are streets in the city that we have no control over. If it's a state road, if it's state jurisdiction, I have no control over that. So those are typically your major arterial roadways like Hillsborough, Power Line, and Southwest 10th Street, Federal and Dixie Highway. So, unfortunately, those I have to defer to the state and ask the state to address those. And there's also some county roads in our jurisdiction, such as Green Road, 48th Street, and Military Road in certain areas of the city. So there are some streets that I don't have any control over, but those that we do, we'll certainly go out there and address them. Just need to notify us and let us know of their existence, and we'll take care of them.
Okay. And my final question, I know that some of the pipes that we have in the ground that they're not good health wise. I think they're called the ACP pipes. Not to scare the public, but they're just old pipes, and
Yeah.
Are there any plans to replace or let me just ask you, how much pipe every year, just off the top of your head, you don't have to give me an exact number or figure, how many feet of pipe do you try and replace every year?
So we don't target a specific linear footage of pipe for replacement. Right now, our operations and maintenance budget is to replace pipe that has failed. And so typically, I'll tell you, our expenditure in that category is $200,000 a year that we just spend on maintenance and operations. Now, the city is getting ready, as I indicated, to do a major capital improvement for utilities. And that's going to include funding for AC pipe replacement. And what we're looking at doing is approximately potentially $2 million a year in AC pipe replacement. And what we're planning to do is potentially line or directionally bore new pipe, adjacent to the old pipe prior to abandonment. So there are plans for that. And that's all part of the overall integrated, I mentioned that, we master plan for these things so that we know how to allocate our budgets and where to prioritize funds. And so that AC pipe is one of those projects in the integrated utilities master plan. That's part of this funding strategy that we're going to have with the utility rates and the increases that we're doing in order to fund those improvements.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember when we were there, it was like really a big deal with the cancer causing pipe. And I can't even think of the name of it now.
It's the ACP pipe.
Yeah, but they called it another name when
Transite, was it Transite?
Transite, Transite was the manufacturer. And now it's not dangerous pipe, it's non-friable. So it's nothing that causes any health concern. It's really a health concern for the folks who are replacing the pipe. So say you have to, cut into a valve and you have to cut the pipe. That's when it becomes an issue because the dust then is an issue. But the pipe itself is not, because it's non-friable. It's only once it gets, cut into or has to be replaced that it becomes an issue. And that's why we're talking about these innovative methods of potentially lining the pipe or doing a directional bore replacement to abandon the pipe in place and just put a new line parallel to it.
Okay.
All right.
Now well, that pretty much answers our questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the viewers or the audience out there that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, we definitely, welcome your input. Please feel free at any time. Give us a call here at Environmental Services. If you see anything, like you say, if you see it, say something and let us know, because without you all communicating it back to us, we're not going to know. We don't know the community as well as you do. You're in it every day. You're in it at night. A lot of us go home at the end of the day and we aren't walking around at night and to see some of the issues. So, unfortunately, I don't know what's going on at all times of the day, but that's why I appreciate the public's input.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
You all keep up the good work over there, and tell all the guys they're doing an outstanding job over there.
And we miss them.
We miss them, and we see them passing through, and just keep up the good work. You all are doing an outstanding job, and you're hearing it first right here from us. We know the job that you do is tough out there because we were there for over 25 years, so we know exactly what you go through every day. Just keep on persevering and keep on doing the good job that you're doing. I'm sure the commission and the mayor, they're all proud of you. So and the city manager.
Please give that encouragement to the guys in the field.
Don't be a stranger. Well, we don't bite, as you know. Come back and talk to us, and we'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedule to stop by and talk to the Adams Brothers podcast, and we appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you very much. So
communicate that to the guys because I know they'll really appreciate hearing that.
You're welcome. So we've been talking to Miss Priscilla Cygielnik.
That's good.
I knew I wouldn't get it right, but she is the Director of Environmental Services with the City of Deerfield Beach. Thank you so much for joining the Adams Brothers podcast. And we'll be talking to you soon. And thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful evening.
evening.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.